Moderated by Shireen Bhan, the summit held a discussion exploring the topic, can India be the next startup nation despite ranking low on the ease of doing business?
Let me start by asking you, your journey, and you started off with virtually nothing. You were 22-year-olds. You had the audacity of hope. And I remember you telling me that there was never a time in this career of building Jasper Infotech and Snapdeal where you actually thought that you would give up or that you would quit. You always believed that you would be able to achieve what you had set out to achieve. Yes, you saw many different iterations of your business model. Yes, you pivoted into a different entity altogether. You started with couponing and today you're an online marketplace. What gave you that audacity of hope?
As our company has grown, we probably have gone through far too many pivots than we are even comfortable with. But I think one of the things that really worked out for us, for both me and Kunal, and this is, when we were starting the company, I think the economic prosperity of the country overall, leave aside the ease of doing business or, what are the opportunities out there. I think just the economic prosperity of the country has a big role to play in this. I think in our generation, when we were graduating, we had very high degree of confidence that, even if we try for a few years, things don't work out, we'll try again. Even then, things
And
don't
you'll
work
get a
out.
job.
At the end of the day, I think with the kind of education we'd had, with the kind of economic situation in the country, we just felt that we'll not die poor or hungry.
Yeah. No, and clearly you're not dying poor or hungry anytime soon, Rohit, but...
So that gave us the confidence that if our sort of base is protected and we are going to be okay, then why shouldn't we go after what we really want to do? And if we don't do it, we'll always regret it.
The economic prosperity angle is one that a lot of entrepreneurs are benefiting from, and that's why, despite all the challenges and despite all the constraints, people are willing to invest in this country, whether it's startups like you or it's foreign investors as well. But the constraints do, in a sense, limit perhaps your aspirations, or have they played any role in the business model that you adopted? Your competitors or your peers, whatever you'd like to call them, decided to go with the inventory-heavy model. You decided to go with the inventory-light model. Was it also because of the constraints of the Indian market?
Not really as much, because that has more to do with what you believe as a company and as an entrepreneur, what you're building. Different companies think of themselves differently. The way we think is we see ourselves really as an ecosystem and a platform.
Yeah. And not as an e-commerce company.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You may have heard this in the morning.
As a technology company. No, it's in the book. That's how I know about it.
No, because it's very important, and there's what happens is whenever things are starting up, which, for example, we still think e-commerce is just getting started in the country. What happens is all e-commerce companies get painted with the same brush, and you think that everyone is the same.
Yeah.
Whereas the philosophies underlying can be very different, and that's what will start emerging in the next 3 to 4 years.
Vikram, what's your experience been like, and what are the changes that you would like to see within the ecosystem to be able to nurture your dreams and aspirations even further?
Well, there are lots of challenges. For example, there's a lot of paperwork, for example, that needs to be done, which is incredibly tough. I think we started off very naively that you just talk to a partner and just bring them online. But as you grow and then you kind of start following all the processes that you need to do, it kind of takes 2 months to just get that process going, from signing all the agreements to.
So the ease of doing business is a genuine problem.
It is a genuine problem because, for example, a lot of our vendors, for example, would probably fall into excise because they're into manufacturing. So it's something we also need to kind of establish, because we do not want to be with them on the wrong side.
Sure.
Whether they are excise registered or not. And that sometimes can become a problem because, we have a vendor who's kind of meeting that limit and the guy would stop there and not kind of grow or kind of, create another firm, which complicates things. So, and there are many such examples, right, which if kind of smoothens out, I think the growth can be way faster. in aggregating a category like this.
Okay, Nirmal Jain, clearly everybody in this hall and everybody on this panel also believes that India can be a startup capital without the government actually changing very much by way of regulations. I was having a conversation this morning with Naushir Kak of McKinsey, and his point of view was that we're in the bull run of startups in India. This is lingo that you will understand, and this is lingo that you're familiar with. How confident do you feel about the bull run that we're currently seeing?
I think in terms of macro environment, we are very well placed.
And that should do well as far as the startup scene is concerned.
Yeah, a lot
also.
of positive factors are converging, and that is what is the power underlying the bull market. So I think this is just a beginning of bull market. I mean, typically bull markets don't get over in 1 year's time. They just made a beginning, so you should look forward to for a much longer cycle. I'll just add one thing. Within that, now e-commerce is a very different. So within cycle, there are cycles.
Yeah.
Okay. So e-commerce globally with Alibaba and everything, there's a second wave of internet which is driving on mobile and is doing great things. Now valuation is like a beauty which lies in the eyes of beholders. So you'll know only with hindsight whether they valued these companies more aggressively or less aggressively.
What's your gut telling you?
My gut will, I think that some of them will be great winners, and there's no reason to believe that the likes of Tiger, Sequoia, and SoftBank are a bunch of people who are less intelligent than all of us put together.
Sure.
So I won't just like to write them off, but I would think that some of these will be great winners, and India that way is a great platform in terms of economy, in terms of demographics, in terms of everything else. So I would rather be optimistic and positive that it's just a beginning and a lot more to be seen.
The start of a bull run in the startup ecosystem in India. Arvind Gupta, you're member of the BJP, so let's say that you're a member of this government, you represent the government as far as this panel is concerned. Specifically from a startup point of view, the previous government had imposed a startup tax. The hope was that this government, when you announce this big innovation and startup fund and so on and so forth, would do away with the startup tax. The point of view of most people that you speak to is if the government cannot incentivize, at least don't penalize. Do we expect the government to now do something about the startup tax?
I think after a long time, and I'm saying this apolitically, we recognize that there is an ecosystem called the startup ecosystem.
Yeah.
There's an ecosystem called the innovation ecosystem, which needs to be provided a catalyst from the government side. The government should not be in the business of doing business.
Yeah.
So, but there are certain things the government should promote in terms of creating the environment and the ecosystem, and which the government is very cognizant of. A lot of discussions and deliberations have happened, which is talking about how do you set up this innovation fund, which the government, whether it's a fund of funds or whether it's implemented through SIDBI or how it is done, I think is the final stage.
You said the government should stay out of business. Absolutely. The last thing that we want is for this fund to be managed by SIDBI or anybody else. Let's be honest about that.
But I'm taking that as a feedback, and I started by saying fund of funds, right? Yeah. Which basically means the government is also a limited partner in a bigger fund.
Sure.
And the experts, the secures or whoever is interested to invest in that, the government becomes a co-investor in the fund, and the fund does the job what they do best of investing further in startups.
Sure.
But to really provide the right catalyst to the ecosystem and to be the startup nation, I think we need 2 or 3 critical areas. One is the definition of what is a startup and the products.
Okay.
Which NASSCOM, iSpirit, all the companies are trying to find. There is no definition today that exists of what is made in India, or a company that is originated in India and where the IP is. And the second point is about regime about the IP protection.
Yeah. Let me bring to your notice a conversation that Dilip Sanghvi, the founder of Sun Pharmaceutical, had, and he said, the unfortunate part about what's happened to our culture is that we foster the ability to copy. We don't encourage original thinking. How do you inculcate a culture of original thinking? How do you nurture innovation? Another conversation that I had, and I'm glad to see that all political parties are now putting entrepreneurship and incubators and accelerators as part of even their political manifestos. The Aam Aadmi Party has done that, for instance. In Delhi, they're talking about incubators and entrepreneurship cells. The BJP has promised entrepreneurship as a right, even so did the Congress Party. How do we nurture this culture of innovation and encourage original thinking?
I believe the youth has the advantage of fearless of the unknown. And that's your starting point for any startup or venturing process. I'd like to share with you, the DST mounted a program called Inspire. we announced 1 million award for children age of 10 to 15. And but cutting the long story short, out of this 10 to 15 age group, so far we have filed 10 patents and 210 are in the process. And this age group 10 to 15. Well, government is seen as a villain. Government also plays some enabling roles.
No, we're not saying it's only a villain. We're saying we would like to see it play less of a villain.
Yes. You see, regulation is one dimension, and there are also promotional and incentivization that takes place.